This is Open Door with Vince Robinson. In-depth conversations with people who are making a difference in the lives of others here and around the world. Culture is at the heart of who you are. Know your culture, find yourself on Open Door with Vince Robinson.
Grand Dawning, Great Rising, Cleveland, Ohio, and the rest of the world. Welcome to another edition of Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest is Sharon Arjay Johnson. She is a Reiki, chakra, and sound bath consultant. She has a number of products that she is marketing, and we'll talk about some of those products. But I am really interested in having a conversation about what Reiki is, what chakras are, and how you can benefit from sound baths. I've had the opportunity to experience a sound bath. Weeks ago, there was an event at the Beachland Ballroom for the Assembly of the Arts, or Assembly for the Arts, and RJ was there, and she had her bowls, and she had about 200 people engaged in a sound bath, and I'm sure that some of the folks who were in that experience benefited from it greatly. So welcome to Open Door, RJ.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
So, really a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure having you. I want to talk to you about these things and include the listening audience in on the things that you're doing, but it's always good to start off with a little background on our guests. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you connected with the whole idea of Reiki, chakras, and sound baths.
Well, I've been a Reiki master since 2004, and I had a day spa at the time, Touch Day Spa, home of Diva Brows, because I'm a board certified esthetician, advanced esthetician since 1999, and just loving working on people and dealing with different people's energies. I attended church where we did Reiki in the church, and other modalities started coming my way, especially the energy centers and working with chakras. But Reiki was basically where I started, engaging in enhancement of the chi flowing, throughout my body and through the chakra and the meridians, and all of this kind of works together in a beautiful way to flow that energy through us. And it's just been a wonderful way of flowing. It kept me peaceful. It helped me to engage with people more. And it just became a part of my life, my lifestyle, especially with understanding the flow of the vortex of the chakra parts going through from the root chakra up to the crown chakra. And that vibration, it helped, mental clarity. It just helped me in so many ways. So I started sharing it with people, a lot of my clients, and through the times that they had issues. Let me see how to explain this. Just going through the health issues. It helped my body to heal as well. Even though I worked with my doctors, but, doing the tuning forks helped a lot, and the color therapy and all of it kind of helped. So that's been my journey.
Okay. What was the catalyst? What caused you to discover Reiki?
Well, that's been a part of my life. As a kid, I would always want to rub somebody's hand to see what they had. And I just always was into vibes back in the day, and checking out your vibe. That was a slang type of way of talking, but it had a lot to do with the energy of that person. So for me, it's always been about a person's energy. If I vibe with them, or if it was something that had me step back, so in that form, it was always about some sort of life force energy that I was connected to. And one of my church member was a chakra and Reiki master, and she attuned me through level 1, 2, and becoming a master. And through that, I learned symbols and in different ways to bring forth energy from heaven's force through me to my heart and out my hands. And at Hitchcock Center for Recovering Women, we I was also going there too because I've been sober 31 years, uninterrupted. Thank you very much. And we would go back to my Amarana, where I went for treatment, and do Reiki there for the women and children. So I was connected with doing the Reiki throughout the years until the pandemic. The pandemic changed a lot for me. Uh, I had been doing a workshop in Costa Maya, Mexico, uh, and by way of we were going on the Royal Caribbean. Everything was booked, everybody's airline, everything was good. And then, voila, the pandemic came April 17th. And no, could not go and do that workshop. And everybody got their money back, but it was still something I still would like to do.
Yes. Well, you just opened another Pandora's box or a can of worms or whatever, and we can get back to that because I always think that it's important to tell stories of recovery. And obviously, with 31 years of sobriety, you have a story to tell, and maybe we'll get to that in this program, maybe not. But before we go there, I want to unpack a little bit about what you brought up at the top, and that was you mentioned Reiki, you mentioned Chi. You mentioned chakras, and I'm sure that there are folks in the listening audience who don't know what Reiki is. They don't know what chakras are and how they relate to them, and they definitely know what Chi is. So let's start with Chi, since that's kind of the basis for all this. How do you interpret the concept of Chi?
Well, Chi and energy are the same. It's the flow of the energy through our bodies. And chakras are little discs that flow circular motion, and it forms like a vortex around you, like a vibrational aura. And all of this is constant energy. And the best way to explain it to me, uh, as as a woman or man holding their child and the baby's crying, you wrap your arms and your intention and your energy flows through that baby, and that baby stops crying. Very simple, easy. If you rub your hands together and then have them in front of you and widening that, you will feel chi. And you can expand that chi wider and wider and then close it, and you'll feel a difference and a pull in the middle of that. We all have our personal chi, our own personal energy, our life force energy, and we have earth's force energy. We have sun and the moon energy. There's energy all about us through every living being. I hope that answers your question.
And when you use the term disc, you're not talking about something that not something physical per se, but it is something that is perceptible and that you can feel it,
Yes,
but you can't see it.
yes, yes. It's a spinning motion that forms around us, and we could feel low energy, we could feel high energy. When we've rested, we jump up and we're ready to go. We've energized the earth's energy, the heavens energy, just energy around us that flows through us and gives us energy. When I work out, and I do qigong mostly, and I do a lot of movement, and I regulate that energy in all of my chakras, starting from my root chakra in the sacrum, the solar plex, in the heart, the throat, in the third eye, in the crown chakra.
Yes.
So we can visualize these things and see the ball of red light, orange light, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet.
Right.
And it can be incorporated into your daily living. Like in my front room, I have red, I have orange, I've got all of the different colors throughout my home. To whereas I have the energy of those colors. The color therapy is a beautiful way of life because it can enhance and change your mood. I have glasses that people do and wear them for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, take them off. And you have a different vibration and a feeling. It helps change moods if you focus on it.
Wow. So with that said, I can't even imagine what your house looks like, but the way you described it makes it seem like, wow, I want to see what that's all about. So perhaps I can take in those colors and then it will improve my vibration level at the time. I also happen to know that the 7 chakras that everybody is familiar with also relate to the 7 colors in the rainbow, the red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, violet, blue. Those things, they connect with the chakras. Very interesting. So now that we have an understanding of Chi, let's talk about what Reiki is.
Well, Reiki and Chi is the movement of the energy from heaven's force right through those chakras to your heart for the intentions of what the Reiki will be expressing. Say, for instance, I come and do Reiki on you, and you says, "Oh, I have a backache," or we'll ask Spirit to help us, guide us through bringing in that energy and being a vessel for that energy, and to flow it through to my heart and out my hands, and then God takes over for me, and then that energy flows through to that person for the intentions that's needed.
Okay. Well, I want to testify because I had a situation a couple months ago where I was experiencing some pain in my left shoulder, and I had someone do Reiki on my shoulder, and it didn't take a long time. It was a relatively short treatment, I'll call it. But at the end of the treatment, it was like I felt instant relief, and as the days passed by, the pain really subsided to a point where it's almost imperceptible now. So those who are listening right now, don't sleep on Reiki. You might have been going to the doctors and them giving you all kinds of pills and things and whatnot, and they may not necessarily work, but I'm here to testify Reiki
I'm
for
so
real.
happy you said that because number one, it's about the intentions, and you don't have to touch a person to do Reiki.
Right.
I could send Reiki right to you through this phone.
Yes.
Distant healing has been being done for centuries.
Okay, well, we may put you to the test on that. We got to step away for a few moments and we're going to come back. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson on 95.9 FM WOVU. My guest is Sharon Arjay Johnson. She is a Reiki, chakra, and sound bath consultant, and we're going to talk more about those 3 things when we come back. More in just a few moments. This is 95.9 FM WOVU, Burtondale Car Community Radio.
Yo, what up? You already know what it is. Your boy DJ Christos. Yo, I got some important information to give you. Are you a resident living in a rental property or a landlord of rental properties within the city of Cleveland? Have you heard about the lead safe prevention efforts in Cleveland? Do you have questions about lead poisoning and why prevention is important? Don't know where to start? Don't know where to get help? Well, there's good news. There's training that is perfect for you, and the Lead Safe Resource Center is here to help answer all your questions. This training presents information on the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition, the resources and teams available to support you, along with great information on who, what, when, where, and why for all things lead poisoning and prevention. And listen up, there's more. If you register now, you're eligible to receive a gift card. Yep, there's 1 gift card per adult attendee. Those interested can sign up via Eventbrite or by calling the Lead Safe Resource Center at at 833-601-5323. That's 833-601-5323 and ask for Ashley Dunn. Thank you for listening to WOVU 95.9 FM, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
I chose Tri-C because they have great opportunities as far as academics mixing with internships. I started meeting people right away who I clicked with. And when I graduated, I received a full ride to Cleveland State and was able to start here as a junior. My name is Rebecca Groth. I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Start now at tri-c.edu.
This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM at Burton Bear Carr Community.
Ohio is our home, and it's full of family we're proud to care for. With more than 200 locations, Cleveland Clinic is growing to bring world-class care to your community. From Canton to Avon, and coming soon to Mentor. Whether it's sniffles and sneezes or something more serious, big or small, we're always near you. For every care in the world. Schedule your care today at clevelandclinic.org/access.
This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson. I'm having a conversation with Sharon Arjay Johnson. She is a Reiki, chakra, and sound bath consultant. We've talked about chi, we've talked about chakras, and now let's talk about sound baths. We talked a little bit about sound, but at the top of the show, we talked about something that you did at the Beachland Ballroom, and you had the bowls out, and folks were sitting quietly with their eyes closed and just swimming in sound. What is the impact of sound on our physical, mental, and spiritual being?
Well, I would like to say that it impacts me in a way that relieves the mind clutter. You know, it depends on what's going on with me. I always start breathing, and then I'll turn on my bowls or walk in. I have my bowls set up in my front room, so I'll go in there and play the bowls, and the energy calms down my nervous system. It helps if I play the first 3 chakras if I have a backache. It helps if I'm having congestion or sinus. I'll work with the 7, 6, and the 5th chakras and work with them. All of the energy of the megahertz sound helps soothe my well-being and gets me in a better mindset. And a lot of times I'll be a lot of things on my mind, and I'll just go and center myself with the bowls and play them. So in answering your question, different negative energies have been removed. It's spiritual detox, so to speak. And just it manifests good feeling, good health. You know, positive affirmations. Everything that I do with the bowls, whatever I start out in, it ends up being relieved. So that's why I like to do a lot of different ones. And then I play additional music with it. And then I have jam sessions where other people playing different instruments and we all play together. So there's so many ways to come. In fact, I'm doing a project coming up where I'm going to be introducing, the communities about chakras and all the information about how it can benefit you and your family in a calm moment, of just relaxing, getting away from the cell phones and the TVs and just getting calm and quiet. It's peaceful with the vibrations of the sound. The music it always keeps you calm.
That's a really interesting comment. And I was just sitting here imagining me and my two siblings and my mother and father, and we're sitting in the living room, and maybe mom is using the bowl or dad is using the bowl, or, somebody's got a tuning fork, but, everybody is there, experiencing the benefit that comes from sound. And I think it's really important to address this, because we have sound being used to manipulate us into negative vibrational space. I'm reminded of a time when I was attending a class that was facilitated by Dr. James Brown. And what he was talking about, or the example that he gave, was they did this experiment in Japan. And they had these vessels that had rice in them. And there were classes of students. And the students would say positive things to one jar of rice. So, I love you, you're great, you're beautiful, those kinds of things. And then they would say negative things to another jar of rice. And the jar of rice that they was spoken to in a positive way, it was okay. But the jar that had the negative things spoken to it, it deteriorated. And it just goes to show you how powerful sound is and how powerful words are. And then when you take it to a larger sense and you think about the things that we listen to on the radio and the movies that we watch and the sound that we hear or we're exposed to in some of those situations, it can be extremely detrimental to us, and we're not even aware of it. Yesterday, I was riding down the street, and a car or a truck was approaching me on St. Clair, and it had this booming bass beat. And, it just gave me a negative feeling almost instantaneously, partly because I was aware of the impact of that sound on me. But the folks who engineer those things, they do it with a certain intentionality about providing a negative impact on your vibrational state.
Well, I totally agree with you on that, because I've heard different movies with negative content to it, and the music, and you just don't forget that, versus going and listen to some violins, or is a time when you're listening to good music. Growing up, we had wonderful sounds on ABQ and all those different radio stations that we love music and the beat. And those were the frequencies that we grew up on.
Yes.
But today's pandemic, post-pandemic time, there's so much negative pain that has to be released from it. So I invite folks to have a spiritual retreat with vibrational sound of music.
Well, too,
for calming the pain away.
Yes. And two, if you look at the musical scale, you've got the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Mm-hmm. Okay. And each one of those keys has a different impact on folks. Each one of us is one of those keys. So if you connect to the key that you are in and you live in that, or you bathe in it, it can have a positive impact on you too. These are things that we really take for granted. We don't really know about because they don't teach us about these kinds of things. But it is just so important for us to connect with the power of sound. And if you want to look at things in a biblical sense, the universe was created with sound.
Yes.
So in the Bible it says, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So you're talking about the power of a word to create something. And there we extrapolate from that the significance and the power of sound.
Very well said. I love the sound, because I'm right by my bowls right now, and if I were to just let your listeners hear they just vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just like.
I just heard do re mi. Yes.
Just playing a moment of peace.
Yes. Yeah, it really does have a peaceful impact on you, and I can also tell you from experience. I attended a Qigong retreat with Wayne B. Chandler, and I was thinking about this earlier as we were talking. There came a point where we would actually stand away from our partner in the exercise, and it's like we would use our hands to feel their energy field.
From that distance.
From the distance.
Yes.
And of course, being a practitioner of Qigong, just as with Reiki, you can do remote healing with Qigong.
I love Qigong. I do the snake, the dragon movements every day. And I open up all of my chakras by movement. And it's a beautiful extension to just having a spiritual experience, optimum level of physical and emotional and spiritual well-being. Come here.
Yes. I also find it interesting that when you talked about your discovery of Reiki, you learned it through someone who was in church. And I know sometimes in church, because people are unfamiliar with, and I'll just call them Eastern modalities, there's a little pushback. There are some Christians who would say, oh, well, no, you shouldn't practice yoga because there's something demonic about that. So talk about how you were able to connect, even though there might be a certain level of disapproval or disengagement.
I was involved with a spiritualist church, spirit of the living spirit. And there were other practitioners, and we will set chairs around the church and do Reiki before the service. And they did message work as well. But every religion has its own spiritual outlet of God working through people. Okay. And it was a non-denominational church, and we just did our Reiki, and whatever talents or modalities people worked with, we worked with it, and it was a beautiful church. But my minister passed away.
Okay.
Lillian Ruffin was her name. She was a massotherapist and one of the founding members of the church.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that. You mentioned that you also have some products, and I want to talk about those products and their benefits when we return. And we'll also talk about the benefit of sound when it comes to meditation. So we're going to take a deep dive. We're going to go into that rabbit hole and come back out when we get back. Yes. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson on 95.9 FM WOVU, Burton Bell Car Community Radio. We'll be back with Sharon, Arjay Johnson after this.
Ohio is our home, and it's full of family we're proud to care for. With more than 200 locations, Cleveland Clinic is growing to bring world-class care to your community. From Canton to Avon, and coming soon to Mentor. Whether it's sniffles and sneezes, or something more serious, big or small, we're always near you. For every care in the world. Schedule your care today at clevelandclinic.org/access.
This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM, Burton Bell Car Community Radio.
I chose Tri-C because they have great opportunities as far as academics mixing with internships. I started meeting people right away who I clicked with. And when I graduated, I received a full ride to Cleveland State and was able to start here as a junior. My name is Rebecca Grove. I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Start now at try-c.edu.
This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM at Burton Bear Car Community Radio Station. Yo, what up? You already know what it is. Your boy DJ Christos. Yo, I got some important information to give you. Are you a resident living in a rental property or a landlord of rental properties within the city of Cleveland? Have you heard about the lead safe prevention efforts in Cleveland? Do you have questions about lead poisoning and why prevention is important? Don't know where to start? Don't know where to get help? Well, there's good news. There's training that is perfect for you, and the Lead Safe Resource Center is here to help answer all your questions. This training presents information on the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition, the resources and teams available to support you, along with great information on who, what, when, where, and why for all things lead poisoning and prevention. And listen up, there's more. If you register now, you're eligible to receive a gift card. Yep, there's one gift card per adult attendee. Those interested can sign up via Eventbrite or by calling the Lead Safe Resource Center at 833-601-5323. That's 833-601-5323 and ask for Ashley Dunn. Thank you for listening to WOVU 95.9 FM, a Burton Bell Car community radio station.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson and my conversation with Arjay, Sharon Johnson, a Reiki master, chakra, and sound bath consultant. This has been some fascinating conversation, and the more you talk, the more I'm inclined to go out and get me some bowls so I can start. I mean, I have a piano, and I'm going to be transparent and say that it hasn't been tuned in 25 years, but it still sounds good to me. And sometimes, RJ, what I will do is I will just play certain chords or certain scales or certain songs, and I use those songs and I use that music for the purpose of connecting. You know, I close my eyes, I play the instrument, I swim in the sound that comes from those hammers striking those strings and that are encased in this piano, and I can tell you that it takes me to another place. So let's just talk about, again, the benefit of sound, but also let's talk about how you connect that sound to, your chakra system and how it enhances your physical, mental, and spiritual sense.
Well, connecting with the sound bath is the way I meditate. When I get still and thank the ancestors, and then look forward to just listening to meditation is really where God talks to me, and I play the bowls and go through each chord of the bowl sound and just let spirit guide me through what I need to work on. And it always seems to balance out, because if I started the root chakra, which is, and if I play it and I close my eyes and meditate on visualizing that ball of red light flowing in the core of my spine, and then I lay and let it flow through, and visualizing anything negative being removed, and then I just feel the energy of the bowl, and then I go to the next one, and then I visualize the orange sacrum and that energy flowing through me, and visualizing anything that's not needed in that area to be removed, and then a flow of the orange light flow through the area of that chakra. And then I go to the next one, which is the solar plex. And I visualize the yellow light flowing through an inch above my belly button. And anything negative not needed to be left, and what's needed to come in. Then I go to the heart chakra, which is green. And I enjoy the love light coming through in the color of green, just to relax and remove any heartaches and to bring in unconditional love. Then I would go right on in to the throat chakra, which is blue. And to speak the intentions that's needed and remove any fixation of anything I don't need to say. And then that's cleared. And then I go to the third eye. And be thankful for the intuitive abilities that my spirit brings to me. And then the crown chakra, connecting to my higher power. And then I feel renewed. And I know from this point on that I'm balanced. And I balance myself through my lotions with the different fragrance that are associated with each chakra. And I created a whole line of 5-piece organic skincare collection to go with each one. And whichever, I can test myself and see which chakra's out. That's a beautiful part of balancing, is being able to check. And I teach people how to check their chakras, especially when I'm doing my events. And then they can take the lotions, the shower gels, the massage oils, and the different fragrance of the aromatherapy roll-on, and the body mist spray, and be in their element and then check it again, and they're back in balance. That's the beautiful part of it. And then if I've got pain in any area, I have my colored balancing tuning forks. And if my hip is bothering me, if I've been walking the dogs too much or whatever goes on, if my knee hurts, I will tune it up. I have the tuning not for the sound, but for the healing of the body. And they have little balls on the end of each side of the tuning fork, because there's a difference. There's some for sound, and then there's some for the healing, for the body. So I work with the body ones. So I use those on my shoulders, and you can administer it by tapping it on a hucky puck and letting the vibration goes through the body on that area until it's completely stopped and the pain is removed. That's for me and the people I work with, and it has nothing to do with taking away from medications from any doctors. It's just something to add on. So that's what I live by, and I'll stick to that.
Okay.
And I wear the colors. Like I say, if I'm on a speaking engagement, I'm going to wear blue. If I'm dealing with just being quiet and calm, I might wear indigo and stay into my third eye. Or I'll wear the purple, my crown, and wrap my hair and let my locks flow with vibrations of the heaven's force. So it's just wherever I am in that day, I'll just go from there.
Okay, so you introduced another element when you mentioned fragrances and you mentioned aromatherapy. So we've talked about sound as having a beneficial impact. I want you to talk about how the aroma of something or the scent of something actually has a healing property. And again, I can testify, those out there who have issues with sleep, you can utilize something like lavender to enhance your ability to sleep. Talk about the power of scent.
Well, for me, the power of scents goes back from centuries of smelling flowers. Anything you smell goes into your psyche, goes into your nose, and you hear, you feel, you see, all of our senses respond. Then our nervous system is connected to everything. So whenever I've gotten different fragrances together for different chakras, it's just been beautiful because everyone takes one whiff and they're calmed down from it, or it's relaxed them, or they feel comfortable with it. But each one of them has its own special fragrances that's combined perfectly for each chakra. And I have them mixed up with my chemist, and we've got the shower gel, the lotion, and the essential oil and the body mist. So all 5 of them together for each chakra. And it always changes from one to another. If something's out in your vibration, having that brings it back into balance. Just like wearing the colors. Some people love red, and they're grounded to me. Anybody who's wearing red, they are loving where they are in their life. If they're orange, the sacrum has a vibration of orange, just lays me out. I love orange. And yellow, confidence, oh my God. And just green is just loving everybody. All of each one of them, even with the blue. That blue, people wear blue, they can talk, boy. They demand and get your attention. And purple, indigo is just, I'm just one with God.
Okay. Well, it's interesting what you said about red. Last night I did a performance at Rudy's Pub, and one of my fellow musicians, vocalist Mike Cady, came in, and he was with his lady friend, and they were wearing red and black. And then he ended up singing a song to her. So what you said about that dynamic, I just caught that in the moment as you reflected on that. That's absolutely fascinating. We have just a few moments before we take our next break, but I did promise the listeners that we would talk about your recovery so that you and your life story could be an inspiration to others, because 31 years of sobriety is quite an accomplishment. So we're going to talk a bit more about Reiki and sound bathing and all that good stuff, but we're going to talk about Sharon Johnson when we get back. So stay tuned. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest is Sharon Arjay Johnson, and we're going to talk about her life when we return. This is 95.9 FM WOVU, Burton-Belcar Community Radio.
Yo, what up? You already know what it is. Your boy DJ Christos. Yo, I got some important information to give you. Are you a resident living in a rental property or a landlord of rental properties within the city of Cleveland? Have you heard about the lead safe prevention efforts in Cleveland? Do you have questions about lead poisoning and why prevention is important? Don't know where to start? Don't know where to get help? Well, there's good news. There's training that is perfect for you, and the Lead Safe Resource Center is here to help answer all your questions. This training presents information on the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition, the resources and teams available to support you, along with great information on who, what, when, where, and why for all things lead poisoning and prevention. And listen up, there's more. If you register now, you're eligible to receive a gift card. Yep, there's one gift card per adult attendee. Those interested can sign up via Eventbrite or by calling the Lead Safe Resource Center at 833-601 833-601-5323. That's 833-601-5323 and ask for Ashley Dunn. Thank you for listening to WOVU 95.9 FM, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Ohio is our home, and it's full of family we're proud to care for. With more than 200 locations, Cleveland Clinic is growing to bring world-class care to your community. From Canton to Avon, and coming soon to Mentor. Whether it's sniffles and sneezes, or something more serious, big or small, we're always near you. For every care in the world. Schedule your care today at clevelandclinic.org/access.
This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
I chose Tri-C because they have great opportunities as far as academics mixing with internships. I started meeting people right away who I clicked with. And when I graduated, I received a full ride to Cleveland State and was able to start here as a junior. My name is Rebecca Grove. I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Start now at tri-c.edu.
This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM at Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Hi, this is Wanda Harris from Warrensville Heights, Ohio, and you're listening to the best radio station in Cleveland, WOVU 95.9 FM, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson and my conversation with Sharon Arjay Johnson. She has really been dropping the knowledge on Reiki and chakras and Qigong and all these other things that folks have little knowledge of that can be so beneficial. But I didn't want to lose the opportunity to talk about your life story and how you were where you were, and then something happened and it caused you to turn a new leaf and begin to be someone who could assist others in living pain-free lives. So talk about your journey. What happened and how did you recover?
What a joy. What a joy. It's my pleasure to share. I just didn't know that I didn't know about drinking. You know, I watched and I learned and I practiced. I had a wonderful upbringing, piano, violin, the flute. My mother had me in ballet, modern dance. I'm saying all that to say I had two parents, and, you know, we had a crisis with my brother dying at 7 when I was 6. And I was angry at God from that point. And then I became a lock-key kid, and I just had to take care of myself. Right on 79th and Huff, growing up in the Huff riots and all of that time, you know, it was just a very rebellious time for a kid that didn't know how to grieve a brother's death, and a kid that just didn't have a lot. You know, we lived on Home Court, a dead-end street, and Lou Ross was my song, you know. And growing up and going to Addison and Huff, you know, and all living around, dodging tanks down the street was crazy. And I got with older people and did things that, you know, I never was proud of doing, but I went the wrong route and ended up having a lot of consequences, jumping in and out of cars and stolen cars, not knowing it, you know, being in trouble and going to jail and drink trouble. And it was all the way it was. And I'm saying all this to say that, you know, no one's to blame of me picking it up. It was a way of medicating the feelings, because I didn't work on the feelings worked on me. And it was just that way. Throughout my life, I was attracted to the lights, you know, getting into over on Euclid. It was, what's the name of that place? I went into bars and things at an early age. Leo's Casino, got in there. Val's my godmother, and went into Val's, the red carpet, Val's party center.
Mm-hmm.
That should have been in school. I didn't finish it. I finished it when I got sober, but I grew up in the streets, in the life, and didn't know that the more I drink, the worse it did me. I was allergic to alcohol and didn't know it. I could think I could drink you down under the tables. I could in the beginning, but during trouble, and it got worse. And it got worse and it got worse. And then I was doing everything but dying. I was doing everything but dying out there. Not knowing that I didn't know, thought I could dress up the outside. And no one could see because I could change mask and be whoever I wanted to be. But everything got old after a while. It don't get better. It always gets worse. And even though I had a bar, the Lancers, and they knew my name, and I had my seat, and I had my glass, and knew everybody, but that gets old. And then you end up going to the after-hour joints at Maddie Matt's on 71st, and then you're driving with one hand over your eye, trying to drive home drunk. And, and I just did everything but die. Everything but die. Taking chances with my life. And then I just wanted to change. I was sick and tired. Because I look in the mirror, and I had on a beautiful Jeffrey Bean silk dress, lace, everything. And I was having a party at the Somerset Inn out in Northfield. And my brother, I said, "Oh, how you like me now?" He said, "You don't look good." You don't look good. And a $1,700 dress did not change the inside of me. The puffy eyes and, after throwing up and looking at yourself and not knowing who you were, the pain got bad. And I wanted to change, and I'm like, Lord, help me. Nobody would bring me a lemon to soothe my stomach. And I literally almost died out there. And then I just took myself to Huff Norwood and talked to the people, and I got into Hitchcock for Women, which I just delivered a bunch of baby bottles and pacifiers, because I work with a nonprofit now. And we donate what's donated to us. We donate it to recovering women. And I'm actually going tomorrow to donate more at Metro Health for women in recovery there that are having babies. And I got like box loads of baby stuff from Bye Bye Baby, donated a bunch to us. And I'm an outreach person, so I take it out to the women. That's what I do today. But 31 years uninterrupted sobriety has given me an ability to be able to be a new person, because, the ink never dried on my fingers, but when I got sober, I was put out of a nursing home because of my background. And being sober, having my own business where nobody could fire me, through that time, one of my clients worked for the governor and got me a pardon that I didn't even know about. So I got miracle after miracle after miracle, to where God did for me what I couldn't do for myself once I stayed sober, taking the body so the mind could catch up. For the mind could catch up. I had beautiful people in the rooms of recovery that hand-fed me a new way of life, and I had to leave the street out in the street. And for that, I'd be forever grateful, because now I help others. I sponsor folks, and, and I work with the nonprofit. It's called My Recovery Day. We just had our first fundraiser at the Rock Hall last September. But my recovery day, I'm a hope ambassador, providing help and hope to individuals in recovery. And I do that. In fact, I got to meet with some people. We've got some donation of perfumes. I got to give them away into baskets. And they're doing something with the hospital downtown. I've got to go and talk to them and make up some gift baskets. I make up all the gift baskets that they raffle off and help people if they come home from recovery, give them everything from TVs, computers, dishes, pots and pans, anything to start their house up. We got loads of stuff to give away. And they can come and work and earn a 35% of what's sold when we put things. They teach them how to list things on eBay. And whenever it's sold, anything sold, they get percentage of it. So we teach them how to be independent and generate their own income. So anybody out there that knows anybody that's want to get sober or starting to new life, send them my way. I'll be more than happy to connect them with my recovery day. And I just love this way of life. God has blessed me with so many gifts. I have to figure out what I want to do.
Well, it's interesting that you put it in those terms, because as you were talking, I was just thinking to myself that this is a person who was living a purpose-driven life. Obviously, you found out why you are here. And in terms of your ability to serve other people, there are just so many different vehicles for you to do so.
Well, you've got to know me, and your audience have got to know my story, and it's my pleasure to be able to share, because hopefully it'll help somebody. Because I went from being a person that couldn't get a job to working with the Democratic Party, and throughout the whole time, getting Christmas cards, from the presidents, and for 4 years, I mean, that's a whole 360 change, from being out in the streets to being a productive member of society. And that I'll be forever grateful.
Okay. So in that you are able to offer folks services in terms of Reiki and products, and then also those who are interested in initiating recovery. Tell us how folks can reach out to you and get the benefit of your, I'll call it philanthropy, because it's definitely giving back.
Yes, definitely. And we're looking forward to doing more in the community. I'm setting up some the chakra experience events throughout this summer and next year as well. But I can be reached at Diva Brows 2 at AOL.
Spell that for us.
DIVA BROWS 2 at AOL.com. And my telephone number direct is 216-322-0176. We're in construction. I'm meeting with the lady tonight to set up our email. I mean, not our email, but our website. And it's going to be Arjay's Touch Chakra Music Experience. And that'll be up and running very soon.
All right. Well, we're going to definitely take a look out for that. But in the meantime, you can reach her at Diva Brows 22, did you say?
No, 2, like just
okay.
2.
Diva Brows 2 at AOL.com. And you can also reach her at 216-322-0176. That's 216-322-0176. Sharon Arjay Johnson, thank you for being our guest on Open Door. Much success to you in the future. And
Thank you.
at some point, I got to see that living room and have you hit them bowls for me, because, you know, you can get your chakras cleared out on a frequent basis and enjoy a great quality of life. Thanks for joining me.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Much love to you, my brother.
All right. And as
Thank
always,
you for the kind words.
absolutely, know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and make today your absolute best day. Peace.